Okay, so we're getting into the Christmas season. I don't really want to push us there because we just had Thanksgiving, and I know how it is. We don't like to rush into things. But this isn't really overly Christmassy. It's more about the traditions of the Yule Log. And most of us think of the Yule Log as just something that maybe you see on Channel 11 or whatever channel you have down here, where it's a log burning on your TV on Christmas Eve into Christmas Day while they play carols. This is actually an ancient tradition, and I think we've been doing it for thousands of years. And I believe it originated with the winter solstice. You know, there's a lot of traditions from around the world, from before Christianity even, of just lighting huge bonfires around the winter solstice to give a jump start to the sun so it starts coming back to us. You know, the light is so far away that you want to light as many fires as you can on the earth to kind of draw the sun back. That was the belief before they knew what was really going on with science and the sun and the earth and stuff. So we have this tradition of the Yule Log, and actually for thousands, you know, and especially the past few hundred years, different traditions from around the world, different weird things that they did with the Yule Log. And this was in the days before TV and movies and stuff. You made your own entertainment. They had some very interesting traditions, all in ancient Europe, which a lot of our ancestors are from around here. So there's some really cool traditions from Serbia, ancient Serbia, and I actually wasn't sure if they still did those traditions there, but I just found out they do still do those traditions there, and that's what I wanted to reenact today. It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit far out, and at the same time, really the underlying message has to do more with nature than in like Jesus or anything like that. And you know, just we're so far removed from nature nowadays. Sure, we go for hikes, and some of us live in a more countrified setting and stuff, but we have this modern electrified way of doing things. A service like this, these old traditions will take us back to a time when people were more aware of how much respect they had to have for nature and the land, because nature gave them everything. They weren't going to the supermarket. Nature was the supermarket. The forest was the supermarket. Hunting, doing your garden. We're starting to get back to that, and especially I'm sure in this congregation we like that mentality. And so we'll do some old traditions that bring us back to that. So I'm going to need some volunteers. And yeah, the thing I wanted to say was that, you know, Christmas, we have these traditions like we have the Christmas tree, you know, evergreen, all that stuff. And it seems like this all got lumped up into Christianity. But I just think these are symbols of winter. These are symbols of the changing seasons. So like people who have a Jewish background or another background, they say, oh, Christmas tree, that's not for us. I mean, I really think the Christmas tree, don't call it a Christmas tree, but it's for everybody. It's nature. It's evergreen. And I think these are more universal symbols than we usually think of them as. So maybe this service will help us to think of that. So I basically need a family, a fake family of volunteers. Okay, so we're going to have, I'll tell you all the roles. I don't know if the kids could participate. They are coming. All right. So we need a father. We need 2 sons who are able to lift logs. We need a mother, young children, and a special Christmas visitor. And I think the kids are all going to be supplied in there. So who wants to be the father of the Serbian family? Okay, come on down. You can sit down on the chairs over here if you want. And who wants to be the mother? Okay, yes. Come on down. And 2 older sons able to lift the logs. So, okay, we have son number 1. Anyone else? We need one more son. Okay, sold. I like that.
Hi, Mom. Hi, sis.
So, and the inspiration for this service comes from a book called The Golden Bow, or The Golden Bough. This is I don't know if you all heard of this book. It's a book from the turn of the century, you know, like 1900 or so, or maybe 1913. Sir James Fraser wrote this huge encyclopedia compendium of all the eccentric superstitions from around the world. And he thinks of it as all heathen, pagan nonsense. And it's a very biased kind of book, because he's always talking about, the pagans, or, you know, the savages. He uses the word savages a lot. But basically he goes around the world, and it's like an encyclopedia, like 20 or 30 books. And they had it at my library in my hometown, and I was interested in it. And so one of the volumes is about the fire festivals of Europe, and that's where I found this. So I'm going to be narrating from this book. And again, this still goes on in modern Serbia, because I just saw a YouTube video the other day of them doing exactly what we're doing, so it's pretty cool. So, and also I need some other, if my lovely volunteer Blue would hand out the guns.
Yeah?
Sure. Who would like a cap gun? Because part of this tradition is they're shooting off guns to celebrate Christmas. So, any volunteers? Want to raise your hand? Okay.
Cans of a lifetime.
So you don't fire them yet, but I'll tell you when you can fire at will, you know. It's part of the tradition. Okay.
You're afraid to fire at will? Will is down here. Father, I can't do a thing with him.
I think we're good on that for now. So these are this is Christmas music of Serbia I'll be playing, so we'll put us in the mood, you know what I mean? We set up this makeshift kind of house here, which is pretty interesting. We have the fireplace roaring. I don't know if you can see the flames, but they are on. Okay, so I'm going to read from this book, and then I'll tell you what you all need to do, okay? But nowhere, apparently, in Europe, is the old heathen ritual of the Yule Log preserved to the present day more perfectly than in Serbia. At early dawn on Christmas Eve, which is called Banjače Dan, every peasant house sends two of its strongest young men to the nearest forest to cut down a young oak tree and bring it home. So may I have the strong young man and strong young woman? Okay, you can pretend to cut down that tree. Don't cut it down yet. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Because there's rules. There's a strict ritual to this. Okay. There, after offering up a short prayer, or crossing themselves 3 times, if you want to do the sign of the cross, but it'll be the sign of the spirit of life here, but, okay, 3 times, or just bless yourself 3 times, in whatever way you see fit. Then, okay, here comes the props here. I have some white spring heart wheat here, wheat. So if you would each take a little handful of wheat. Okay, put that in your hand as well. I left everything labeled so you can see, you know, we're so oriented to advertising, so you just see the symbol here and you know this is walnuts, and you know this is raisins, so you don't have to be able to read it. Okay, after crossing themselves 3 times, they throw a handful of wheat on the chosen oak tree and greet it with the words, "Happy Banjače to you."
Happy Banjače!
All right. Then they cut it down, taking care that it shall fall towards the east, which is that way pretty much, at the moment when the sun's orb appears over the rim of the eastern horizon. So this is very early in the morning of Christmas Eve day. They're waiting, in the first sliver of sunlight, that's the moment when you knock the thing over. It has to fall towards the east, because if it falls towards the west, it's the worst possible omen for the house.
Good job, kids.
And it's also an evil omen if the tree should be caught and stopped in its fall by another tree. It is important also to keep and carry home the first chip, the wood chip from the fallen oak. So just, pretend there is one, take the imaginary chip, put it in your pocket for later. Okay? And then they saw the trunk into 2 or 3 logs, one of them rather longer than the others. Here's a flat, unleavened cake of the finest wheat. You're going to take that. I'll tell you what to do with it. So you figured out which one is the longest one, right? It looks like this one might be the Yule Log. It's the longest. Okay? A flat, unleavened cake of the purest wheaten flour is brought out of the house and broken on the larger of the logs by a woman. And here's our woman. So just break it over that log. It's kind of a blessing. Then the logs are left for the present to stand outside, leaning on one of the walls of the house. You can lean it on the wall of the house if you want. And meanwhile, while this is going on, the children and the young people in the neighborhood are going from house to house singing special songs called Koleda, because of an old pagan divinity named Koleda, who is invoked in every line. Maybe this was an earth goddess, Mother Earth. Her name is Koleda in ancient Serbia. And you're hearing these type of songs that they would sing from house to house, these ancient carols. In one of the songs, she's spoken of as a beautiful little maid. the Earth Mother. In another, she's implored to make the cows yield thick milk. They were big into milk. You know, you have to pray for your milk to be thick and abundant in the coming year. You can't just go to Stop and Shop and get some, you know? And then that day of Christmas Eve day is spent in busy preparations. The women bake little cakes of a special form, the shape of lambs, pigs, and chickens, these cakes. So it's kind of like a fertility for the coming year, that all their cookies and cakes are shaped like the animals that they depend on. The men make a pig ready for roasting. In every Serbian house, roast pig is the principal dish at Christmas. And a bundle of straw, which we have some straw there, is tied with a rope, brought into the courtyard, and left to stand there near the Yule logs, which it is. At the moment when the sun is setting, now this is Christmas Eve night, okay? All the members of the family assemble in the central hall. We'll pretend this is the central hall. So the father, the two kids who got the log, the mother, and all the young kids who are here with us, except for the boy, not the boy, but the two girls who come. The boy is special. He's coming later. Oh, okay, yeah, the three girls. Yeah, sure. No, she's refusing, so. Okay. So now the family's assembled in the great hall. The mother of the family gives a pair of woolen gloves to one of the young men. I don't know, let me see. I think I have that backstage. I have another one. There's just so many. We'll pretend they're wool, yeah.
For the young man?
Hold on, let me see. Okay. Give those woolen gloves to one of the young men who goes out and brings in the largest Yule log in his gloved hands. Okay, now the mom, grab a handful of wheat from that blue bag and be ready. And someone open the door for the young man, or for the for one of the men. Okay, open the door for him. Pretend to open the door. Let him in. And the mother receives him at the doorway, throwing at him a handful of wheat.
At him?
Yeah.
That was fun.
And the first chip of the oak tree that you cut down was in that. No, it was in that wheat, okay? For all intents and purposes, okay? Okay. Then entering the central hall with the Yule log, the young man greets all present with the word. So the young man is going to say, "Good evening.
Good evening.
And may you have a happy Christmas."
You have a happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas.
And everyone say together, and you all the congregants, you can all say this, May the spirit of life.
May the spirit of life.
And the happy and holy Christmas.
And the happy and holy Christmas.
Help thee.
Help thee.
Okay, at this point, the chief of the family, who's the father, would hold a glass of red wine in his hand.
Naturally.
Naturally.
There's that red one.
I picked the right role.
Take the bottle of wine. I don't want to stain things. Okay, you got the red wine in your hand. And, holding a glass of red wine in his hand, greeting the Yule log as if it was a living person, and drinks to its health. And pour a little bit of red wine onto the log. Kind of like a baptism of the log there, okay? Then the oldest male member of the family is assisted by the young man who got the log in, places it on the burning fireplace. You see that over there. So that the thicker end of the log protrudes for about a foot from the hearth. That's not that big, but just make sure the fat end sticks out. Okay. And at this point, we would smear, I don't think we have any honey here, but we would smear the end with honey. You could pretend to smear it with honey. There's so many props involved with this, so we got most of them, you know. Okay. Next, the mother brings in the bundle of straw which was left standing outside. So that's, you can use this bag because it's open already. That's the bundle of straw, okay? Here's where it gets fun, everybody. Okay. Okay. So the mother has a bundle of straw. All the young children arrange themselves behind her in a row. So line up in single file behind Mom. Okay, now you're all going to pretend to be a mama hen and her chickens. Okay? So the mom walks slowly around the hall, throwing handfuls of straw on the floor and cackling like a hen.
Hey, I'm loving this.
While the children behind her peek with their lips as if they're little chickadees, cheeping and waddling. They have to waddle after their mom. Make sure you waddle like a chick. You can throw straw anywhere on these blankets. That's why they're here, so it's easy mess to clean up later. So. Okay, while they're doing that, the father takes a few walnuts. You see the walnuts on top of the fireplace there. And you're going to put a few walnuts in every corner of the hall. And pronounce a little blessing. We could do a spirit of life blessing, whatever you want to say. And the spirit of life bless this house. And now if someone, maybe the mom, wants to light this candle, this would be a tall yellow candle made of fresh wax. No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
And they would place that in a large pot filled with wheat, which we'll just improvise, yeah. You could pretend that. Yeah, there you go. You could throw some wheat around it. Yeah, there you go, perfect. It's all symbolic of the harvest, you know. Okay, and then they would pray, for the spirit of life. Okay, maybe everyone repeat after me. Spirit of life.
Spirit of life.
Bless the family.
Bless the family.
With health and happiness.
With health and happiness.
Bless the fields.
Bless the fields.
With a good harvest.
With a good harvest.
Bless the beehives.
Bless the beehives.
With plenty of honey.
With plenty of honey.
Bless the cattle and the sheep.
Bless the cattle and the sheep.
With lots of babies.
With lots of babies.
Bless the cows.
Bless the cows.
With abundant milk and rich cream.
With abundant milk and rich cream.
Okay. After this, the family sits down squatting on the floor for their dinner because the use of chairs is forbidden on Christmas Eve. So you eat on the floor. You made your bed to lie in with all the straw and stuff, so it should be soft. He's special. He's coming. I'm saving him. Don't worry. And little boy, you're coming soon. Don't worry. You have a very extra special role, so you're like the star. We're getting there. Anyway, this goes on. You guys eat dinner, and then everyone pretty much stays up all night on Christmas Eve. It's just too exciting, you know. By 4 o'clock next morning, Christmas Day morning, the whole village is astir. Indeed, most people do not sleep at all that night. And it is deemed very important to keep the Yule log burning brightly all night long. Very early, the pig is laid on the fire to roast, and at the same moment, one of the family goes out in the yard and fires a pistol or a gun. So someone fire a pistol. All right. So now, and then for several hours, as long as you aim it in the air, don't aim it at anyone, and we're good, okay? Here for several hours in the early morning of Christmas Day, such a popping and banging of firearms goes on that a stranger might think a stubborn skirmish was in progress. So from here on in, from 4 a.m. on, if you ever feel like shooting your gun, just shoot it off, okay? It's up to you. Save some bullets for later on, but... Just before the sun rises, a girl goes. May I have a volunteer, one of the little girls? Maybe go to where Hank is standing and pretend there's a little brook there, there's a stream, and you're going to draw some water at the village stream. And you wish the water a happy Christmas. Say happy Christmas to the water.
Christmas.
This is like pretend. You guys pretend all the time. Now we're pretending with you. And take a handful of this and throw it on the water right there. There you go. Good job. Everyone's doing good. Okay, then you're going to bring some water home. Pretend to bring some water home. Give it to your mom. And the first cupfuls of spring water are used to bake a special Christmas cake called chesnitsa, of which all the members will eat some at dinner. And a small silver coin is baked into the cake. And whoever gets it in their bite will be lucky during the whole year. So mom's making the cake. You help her make the cake.
You already got it. Sorry.
Here, I'll take the gloves back because I need to do something. All right. right, carry on. We're almost
Okay,
still making preparations.
baking.
You're baking. Okay, all the families gathered now around the blazing Yule log, anxiously expecting the arrival of the special Christmas visitor. His name is the Palaznik, and he's wearing a striped blue shirt today. He is a young boy of a friendly family. Here's a kid's song for the Palaznik.
Did we greet him at the door or something?
Yes, we're getting there.
Okay.
No other person, not even the priest or the mayor of the village, will be allowed to set foot in the house before the arrival of the Christmas visitor, the Palaznik. He's very important. So he comes very early in the morning to visit. Usually he's a kid from a neighbor's house. He carries... Now hold on to this. There's some wheat in it, so don't spill it. Just hold it by the top, okay? What's your name? Thomas. Okay, good to have you. So Thomas, why don't you come around that side? Over there is the front door. Ring the doorbell or bang up, knock on the door. Okay? And let's make sure we do this right. So he has a woolen glove full of wheat. When the door is opened at his knock, he's going to throw handfuls of wheat. You're going to take wheat out of there and throw it on all the family as you come in. And you're going to say, Christ is born. Ready?
Welcome, Thomas. Okay, go right ahead.
Don't be shy. Throw it on him. It's okay. And all the family says he is born indeed.
He is born indeed.
Or we could say the light is reborn indeed.
The light is reborn indeed.
Okay, now and the mother also is going to take some wheat and pour it on top of his head as well. You take it from the fireplace here.
I'll get the wheat from over here. Maybe I'll use the whole bag. Oh,
And now the Christmas visitor, the Palaznik, he takes a shovel, so take a pretend shovel, and hit the log. Pretend to hit the log so that a cloud of sparks flies up the chimney. And now can you repeat after me? Okay. You're going to say, pretend to hit the thing. Hit it. May you have this year so many oxen, so many horses, so many sheep, so many beehives full of honey, so many pigs, so much good luck, prosperity, progress, and happiness. And having said that, now you would hug the mom or the dad, whoever you wish, if you feel comfortable doing that. It's all love here. But don't leave yet. Now comes the most important part. So, see this special green chair? Someone bring that chair out so he can sit down on it, and someone take the blanket in their hand who's not, someone take the blanket and someone take the chair. Okay, perfect. Now he's going to get ready. Don't sit down yet, okay? So now he said all these blessings for the house, and they bring the chair in for him, and he's led to take his seat. But as you sit down, they're going to pull it out from under you, and you're going to fall on the ground. So don't hurt yourself. Ready? Okay, now someone now stay on the ground, lay down, and throw that blanket on him. You have to lay down, Thomas. Lay down if you can.
a little close to the fire, Thomas.
And by this fall, when he hit the ground, like boom, that's when he seals all the blessings that he just sent. It's like a magical act where it's like, bam, shazam! All the blessings are revealed. Good sport, Thomas. You can get up if you really want to. So, by this fall, he's supposed to fix into the ground all the good wishes that he's just uttered. The hostess wraps him in the thick blanket, and he sits in it for a few minutes. The thick blanket in which he's swathed is believed to ensure that the cows will give thick cream during the coming year. So the thicker the blanket is, the thicker the cream is going to be. All right, we're doing great here. While he sits, thus enriching the milk of the dairy, the lads who are to herd the sheep in the coming year go to the hearth. So I guess we could have the young boys of the family again go to the hearth where the fire's burning. And you would kneel down and kiss each other across the log. No pressure again. You can pretend. You can always pretend. And by this demonstration of affection, they are thought to seal the love of the ewes for their lambs. I guess the sheep for their lambs. So it's encouraging love among the animals. Isn't that wonderful? So that's the basic crazy Serbian Yule Log traditions. Let's have a hand for the wonderful volunteers. And let's all read the reading and response in the bulletin.